Welcome to episode 51 of the Mainly Golf Podcast. I am Twig, not exactly those idyllic golfing surroundings, joined once again by the sticky bandits Hep and Marv. Hep, JJ
Hello.
Spaun, was he? I didn't watch any golf last week. Too busy trying to dribble two kids over a balcony. Not like Michael Jackson, not that dodgy. Um, was he a deserved winner of the US Open, the 125th US Open?
I think you have to say, yeah, he was. He led round one. He held consistently around par for every week. I'm not sure what his worst round was, but yeah, I think if he the rain obviously helped him. He adapted to it better. We saw Burns melt down, so you could say he needed that break because I think he shot five over after his first six holes, and he needed that mindset and that break to just reset his mind. But you can't really argue that he was there from wire to wire up in the top five or whatever it was. And
I think
yeah,
the stat was he's only one of only two players in the US Open history, I think, to shoot 40 or more on the front nine of a final round and still win the US Open, which is insane. So
yeah,
he's obviously rallied. And to be fair, you see the people celebrating with him afterwards. I think you saw Victor Hovland. I think he was mid press conference when he saw the putt and was kind of applauding. Same with Bob McIntyre. He was in the whatever
scoring.
room waiting, and they both were like fair play to him, like
Yeah,
give him like a round of applause. He doesn't seem to be a person that kind of rubs people up the wrong way. He seems to be a well-liked professional, if that's the right phrase. Marv, when you compare that to the US Open of 12 months ago, it's a very different story.
No, I think I read that JJ a year or two ago had literally considered giving up the game
Last year, he went on a horrendous run. He looked like he was going to
just
miss
to come back
his toe card. Yeah,
and yeah, and for everything he just like you say a bad break. He wasn't throwing his clubs like some players. He wasn't throwing a tantrum. He wasn't swearing. He just accepted it and got on with it. And the one thing I didn't know, and they did say in commentary that I think Rich Beam on Sky Sports supposedly has played a few practice rounds with him, that they were saying that he does actually, he's a player that hits the ball both ways. You know, if the flag is sort of tight, tucked into the left, he can draw it in. If it's tucked into the right, he'll fade it in. He's not a one trick pony sort of thing that just hits the same shot over and over. So, maybe it could be the start of something for JJ Spaun. And maybe he won't just be sort of a one off and disappear into the background. Maybe he's going to actually
yeah. I
stick
mean, be surprised if he wins another major. But
around
he's
for a
like
bit.
2 seconds this season. Like lost to Rory in the players in the playoff, and another second somewhere. So, and now he's like pretty much guaranteed to be on the Ryder Cup team. So he's definitely going to be in all the. Obviously he's in the signature events and all the majors now for the next whatever year. So he's definitely going to be around. Yeah, be surprised if he won a second major. But
Yeah, true.
I remember backing him for a tournament in I can't remember what tournament it was. I was at York for the Dante meet in 2018, and he led off I backed him at like 125 or 150. He led off the first round, and he was just so happy because he was paired with Tiger. Like, oh my God, paired with Tiger Woods over the weekend. And he went and shot like 70, 75, 76. His ass went. And then when he went, I think he won Houston. He won some tournament 3 years ago, and he showed like unbelievable clutch to it. He made like a couple of big passes, so 8, 9 feet, and it winning by a couple of shots. And you think, okay, that's going to be the making of him. And then still after that win, disappointed. He probably should have won the Players this year. Um, that putt at 18 was pretty sick how he doesn't roll on. Like he's hit the perfect, but just hasn't gone in.
Yeah, just
Uh,
half a ball more sort of thing, was it? And was that right?
and then you know he makes that horrendous error at 17, and that was kind of game over. But to come back from that, I suppose, like near disappointment and that near miss of biggest win of your career by far. And you know what? If you win the Players 2 year exemption, you're in every major, you're in every big tournament. Like you're automatically in the Ryder Cup team. To then again go wide to wide the US Open is pretty ballsy. Like fair play to the guy. Like that is no mean feat. especially around Oakmont, when you see players putting up big, so like Adam Scott 9 over for the final round. Adam Scott been around forever, right? Masters champion. He's not an Open champion. He should have won in 2012 when Ernie Els kind of fell in. But you saw like Sam Burns again. He's been around a long time. He capitulated himself. But yeah, it just it seems a nice result for the game of golf as well. Like a guy who's kind of been around a bit. He's plied his trade. He's grafted hard. Not one of the big names. Which if we'd listened to your tipping beforehand, just back the favourites. Can't lose.
Yeah. Scotty was up there, Robert. Yeah, no. Shit.
The weird thing is as well, Hep actually put up JJ Spaun for the PGA Championship
I know, I was just fucking going to say
at
that.
Quail Hollow, and I
I
said to
remember
him,
that.
JJ Spaun is not a major winner. Shut the fuck up, Hep. Better your chances. Better.
Wrong fucking major.
And the weird thing is, if you look at JJ Spawn's game, like Marv said, he drives the ball both ways. He's quite steady, finds a lot of greens. The US Open's probably better fit for his game than Quail Hollow.
Yeah.
So why didn't you stay loyal?
Well, it was Scotty and Bryson's to lose, wasn't it? It was guaranteed that those two were going to be 6 shots clear of third place.
Well, what Bryson was doing over the weekend.
That I was going to, not have a sweat, but yeah, Bryson really disappointed.
Is his case for Bryson? He's just not been. He's not been driving the ball very well this year, and you can't in those kind of conditions. It's just the ultimate price, isn't it?
Yeah, it just didn't seem to learn. Like, for US Opens, it's worked for him driving it further, and then just there's long rough he's got to hack out, but he's close to the green, and everybody's doing it. But in this one, it was just so pedal that you had to be in the fairway, and it just didn't seem to adapt. It was just I'm just going to keep driving it as far as possible, and then struggle in the rough. Like, just you can't always you're not going to hit the fairway every time when you dial it back. But there just seemed to be no attempt to change his game plan after 6 holes when he'd realised, okay, I can't just overpower this.
With that, would you worry about that type of game at an Open Championship, especially at Royal Portrush, where I think if I remember correctly, back was it 2018 when Lowry won, 2018, 2019, it was quite soft. I think there's a lot of rain. The conditions weren't as hard. I don't think players are going to have it this easy this time around. I think Lowry went about 14 under. I think Tommy was second in about 8-9 under. I remember you saying Marv beforehand last week, like they'll want this to be a test. They won't want players under par this week, and the one player who was under par won the tournament. I think that the USGA will probably like that. I think it'll be similar at Royal Portrush where the rough will be tested. If you miss the fairway, you will pay the price, and Bryson will probably struggle as a result of that.
Yeah, the other thing that I think that I found interesting on the commentary, that because they said that Corey Connors after a couple of rounds was leading putting, and he's the worst.
He's the worst putter on tour.
There was somebody else that was leading greens, and he's the worst. It was like it's just everybody just flipped. There was no logic to it, but they also said that some of the players that effectively gained strokes like around the green, like we think of Bryson, the way he stayed in the Masters tournament with his chipping and putting, that nobody was really, if you were missing the green, probably because you missed the fairway to start with, then you missed the green, you were just hacking out from 15 yards away. There was no like delicate chip, get up and down. It was hack it onto the green, 2 putt, it's a bogey every time. So they were saying that I don't think there was really an advantage, or you couldn't get much of an advantage for if you've got a really good short game around the green. So it turned out, I think, as I kind of expected, that Oakmont was Oakmont, but I was certainly surprised if a few of the bigger names didn't. Let's be honest, Scotty finished 5 behind. I don't remember Scotty doing anything all tournament. He must have had the most boringest Scotty tournament, and he's finished only 5 back.
That's still top 10 finish, yeah.
Yeah, I think. Yeah. Exactly. Another one that, formally saying Marv, like Hovland came second in around the green, and he is, well known for being one of the worst.
In the interview, didn't he, after the race, he went, "My chipping sucks." Like, can he just sort it out?
And it just shows that it was not your usual around the green.
Well, you said like JJ Spaun, he gained 9 strokes on the field after the first round.
Yeah, on round 1. Yeah.
That's insane. So is it just a case of in these types of majors, you just need one good round and then just hang on?
Position yourself early, I guess, and
that's kind of like what. Yeah, I'm trying to think of Brian Harman when he won the Open. Was it last year? He had that one good round. I think it was the first or the second round, and then kind of just he had the. He didn't have a big cushion. Was it the year before? 2023, wasn't it?
I think it was 2023. Yeah,
Because Xander won it last year. No one really made a big move. He just kind of was. I'm there by the front. I'm there in front by a few shots now, and just to cling on.
Yeah, I think when it's that hard, it's so difficult to gain strokes by getting birdies that the front runners obviously they can melt down, but it's very hard for someone in 12th to make a charge and gain 6 shots if you're going to just score 1 over par. Burns shot, was it a 500 on the Friday, which is incredible round in those circumstances.
Yeah, it's a bit of a freak result. It's interesting to see how a lot of those players turn up this week for the Travellers. Scotty Scheffler's a very strong 3-1 market leader, and it's pretty much 14 to on the field after Scotty. You've been a long advocate of Scotty, saying he's the best player we've seen in generations, in fact. But I mean, better than a certain Errol Woods Jr. 3 to 1 in a signature event would be ploughing in, Marv. I think last time it was a signature event, you put 10 points win on Scheffler, but Hep, I'll let you take the lead.
I mean,
can't lose. I mean, best player in 25 years, Hep. Hell.
He won here last year. He gained across the board.
He won here last year, beating a player that you tipped up as well. So if you tipped him, he must be good.
Must be good. I mean, yeah, like he's going to be top 10 again. Like, I'm not going to back him at freeze.
Why not?
He's
Hep's got someone else to back.
Yeah. Might do, do the old forecast.
No.
Yeah, well, if we're going to deposit that 365 account, might as well.
It's like profit on those forecasts. But yeah, I mean, I don't know what to say. I can't think of anything interesting to say. He's going to be up there. He's going to have a great shot, but I'm not going to pick him at 3 to 1.
So why can't you back him at 3 to 1 when you put him up in forecast last week when they double the field size in a more haphazard course, and yet we've spoken off air. You prefer a certain Northern Irishman, even though he had a much shitter week. He's much more angry and antagonistic with the media. Why do you think Rory is a better bet this week?
Because he's 5 times the odds. He led the field off the tee. Like the big story, obviously,
Grand Slam winner, Twig. You know what I mean?
He's having to change his driver and not being used to the new driver, and
that's bollocks. By the way, that's just absolute nonsense. Marv, you're a long-time golf player here. As a professional, right? Surely it's the clubs are roughly the same. Right? For a man of Rory's stature, it's microcosms, right? The changes.
Particularly that he was winning everything pre the Masters. I know if you look at the Masters and say, look, that's just a golf tournament, don't treat it as whatever. But yeah, the drop off in form is impossible to blame.
It's mental. It's not nothing to do with clubs.
Yeah.
There you go, Hep.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah, yeah.
I can see what Hep's trying to do. He's fair enough. He's trying to pick some value, but
for value, yeah, I know.
Yeah, you're not going to get Rory yet. I mean, a month ago he was at 5, so Scotty was at 3s, and yeah, it's just purely based on he led off the tee. and he's at 14s.
If he led off the tee, where did he lose strokes last week then?
He did lose an approach. He lost half a shot around on approach. And then everything else was pretty neutral. So, like, he did gain 2 strokes per round. Is that right?
I presume your logic is it's less penal off the tee, so...
Well, just he's back with the driver. Like, that was causing the issues previously.
So why does he have his old driver back now? Part of my ignorance here.
It just takes a few weeks, doesn't it, to get used to it? I mean,
you just got used to a new driver. That's what you're saying. Okay.
He's going to get it perfectly fitted, and it should just be a plug and place with the replica of the one he was using. But, like, he's not.
So you're basically saying it's like a footballer, right? He's got a new pair of boots because he can't wear the old ones. I'm like, well, it takes a few weeks to be able to start scoring a few goals, Twig.
Wow.
Sounds like something fucking Pell would say. Pell, why you score for that? New boots, lads. Got to get used to them.
You got to knock in that cricket bat. You got to.
Oh yeah, but use this new cricket bat. I'm gonna score 6s next week. Honestly,
round those edges off with
Fucking hell, maybe it's so
the one thing I did hear is that some people were suggesting, because when Rory was asked in an interview about what driver you're using, and his response was, come to the range and watch me and you'll find out, that I think he's been trying to cover up the fact that he doesn't like TaylorMade's like most newest version of the driver, and obviously I suppose that's it. They'd want him to be using the latest one, but he might be preferring like an older model
with whatever they tell him to.
Yeah, so maybe that's part of the argument. But in terms of value for Scotty, see, he won the Memorial Tournament by 4. And he's with Bet365
as well.
He's 6-1 to win by 3 or more, or 8-1 to win by 4 or more. I agree with Hep. 3-1 for Scotty there's really no value in there, but I don't know whether 3 or more. I think Scott, if he wins, he probably runs away with it. So
that's fair.
He's one of them. If he's on it, he'll just run away potentially. But
if we do hit 1,000 downloads by the end of the season, we are going to get a GoFundMe to start and buy Marv a new laptop, because got more lags than fucking Hep playing SOCOM 20 years ago. You know what I mean? This is what's going on here.
Show me noob.
No Wi-Fi in Linley anymore.
Like and subscribe. That's what you've got to say.
What's the word you used to call me in Cryptoland? Not a dongle.
A Chad.
A Chad, yeah.
That's a good thing now.
That's showing how out of touch I am. McIlroy for me. Man, would you worry about his ongoing almost row with the press? To be in a position where you start saying to them, I don't need to talk to you.
He's not going to talk to them, and then it doesn't matter, does it?
But he's now positioned himself as he's a Grand Slam, the only Grand Slam winner active, really. He is the face of golf, in a sense. Argue alongside probably Scheffler, but I think Rory's more, as a brand, is more internationally recognisable. And yet, I'm not speaking to the media. Get fucked. It's not a good look for your almost star player to be in a very open and blatant conflict, saying, "I don't speak to you. Do I want? Can't I?"
Yeah, it's so weird how it's happened, because obviously, like, a couple of weeks after the Masters, he was floating on air with the Zurich. He was like so happy, chatting with everything, and now just flipped for no real reason. Like, I think it is just he's annoyed that this driver's story.
One person has leaked it, and because how the media works, right? If they report it, well, we've got to report it as well. It's a big story.
The problem he has, though, he skips a few media sessions. They just hold on to the questions until he's next. So he's got to answer the questions anyway. Yeah. It's not like lesser players where, I don't know, say if they do something on the, like, damage a tee box or whatever, which he probably did do this week as well. One of his bad drives.
Looks really bad as well.
3 weeks later they'll forget about it. But not care to ask. But with Rory, he's going to have to answer it. So he might as well turn it up and just Yeah, I don't know why he's upset. And then, do you see, off topic again, do you see what Wyndham Clark did as well to one of the lockers? Like,
He
apparently,
beat the shit out of those lockers, didn't he? Yeah.
yeah, just,
Luckily for Wyndham Clark, no one gives a shit about Wyndham Clark.
yeah. There'll just be some fine and obviously pay for it, but yeah.
You see, for me, it's whether Rory's just got to the end of it and he just can't be asked anymore, but, like, it surely must have had his PR teams briefed him. Now, to me, if they'd have asked, he knows he's going to get asked these questions, and if his response was with a smile on his face and says, "Well, lads, good job they didn't catch him before the Masters, did it, innit?" You know what I mean? Like, turn it into something, and everyone would laugh. And I actually think everyone just fuck it. All right, move on. Next question. But the fact he's so defensive about it, then the media think, well, actually, why is he being defensive? Is there a bit more to this story? And so they push it and they push it. Yeah, I don't think he's handled it well at all, has he?
And the problem is with the media, right? You can't win with them because you have to get them on side ultimately because they're able to control the narrative. And Tiger is always brilliantly kind of charming them. And like I said, just turning the story and said like, well, I got real lucky out there, didn't I, this week, lads? Well, he's won by 12 shots. Like you have to be kind of self-deprecating and you have to kind of be able to make fun of yourself. Rory almost feels like he doesn't like doing it. And that's his you look at anyone who's successful in golf, especially with the media, like Sergio played the game and took the piss out of himself. If you ask a lot of people how he was with the media, it was very different how he was actually on course or behind the scenes, but didn't matter, right? They painted the picture. Sergio, this happy-go-lucky Spanish kid, just wants to play golf, won the Masters, blah, blah, blah. But they're able to dictate how you are thought of or perceived by the public. And the problem is that in America, a lot of the public think Rory is a snot-nosed, sulking little crybaby, and nothing will change that now because more things creep up and creep up. After they've happened 2, 3, 4, 5 times, people are going to change their thinking. Even after a Grand Slam and adversity and blah, 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 it's an uphill struggle.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think it's 3 months of the Ryder Cup. I think it's in the Northeast, right? This year is it Bethpage?
Yeah.
He's going to get slaughtered.
Yeah.
The fans are going to boo the shit out of him every shot, and Rory will start doing the Patrick Reeds, and as soon as he messes up, fucked.
In his backswing and everything, isn't it? It's going to be
Mashed potato. Rory, throw a club over here. I need a new driver. There's going to be so much at him.
Yeah, but
it'd be a test.
They'll go fucking hard. I think there'll be some X-rated and everything in his backswing.
And the problem was, like, Monty would always
They'll say what they won't give a shit.
Well,
He did a bit.
They hated him over there, and Monty would always bite. Get that man over there out. I'm not having him talk like that. So people just try it up with him, try and wind him up. Like it's like fitting in it. Just try to wind me up, right? You know, like, yes, it's funny.
But yeah, as each week goes by, I just think Marv's prediction of he might retire from the PGA just seems more and more.
I think the more it goes on, the more likely he's to just pack it all in sooner rather than later.
Because he's moving back to the UK. Like he's and he obviously had the file for divorce last year, and you don't know what's going on at home. Maybe some shit's happening, but yeah, there's more and more. It just seems Marv's he'll play the Ryder Cup, and then he might just be done with golf in America.
Do you think there's any chance he could join Liv?
I don't think Rory.
Personally, I think the last few months, I think there's a chance. Like
the only thing is, I don't think he's necessarily money orientated to a point. So that wouldn't be a driver. Like we'll give you £1 billion.
It's not about the money. I think he just wants us to fuck use the PGA Tour.
Well,
I think he feels,
that's it.
He feels quite aggrieved. Like you should be sticking up for me. I'm the pal. I'm the face. I'm the face of the cup. I'm the face of the brand.
Yeah,
why is everyone being horrible to me?
He's obviously now forever. He's would always get into the UK
in the 4 majors.
4 majors. 4 majors. 4 majors. 4 majors. 4 majors. 4 majors. 4 majors. 4 majors. 4 majors. 4 majors. 4 majors. 4 majors. 4 majors. 4 majors. 4 majors. 4 majors. 4 majors. 4 majors. 4 majors. 4 majors. 4 majors. 4 majors. 4 majors. 4 majors. 4 majors. 4 majors. 4 majors. 4 majors. 4 majors. 4 majors. 4 majors. 4 majors. 4 majors. 4 majors. 4 majors. 4 majors. 4 majors. 4 majors. 4 majors. 4 majors. 4 majors. 4 majors. 4 majors. 4 majors. 4 majors. 4 majors. 4 majors. 4 majors. 4 majors. 4 majors. 4 majors. 4 majors. 4 majors. 4 majors. 4 majors. 4 majors. 4 majors. 4 majors. 4 majors. 4 majors. 4 majors. 4 majors. 4 maj
what else tournament does he need really?
Yeah.
Again, he'd get a sponsor exemption every year at Quail Hollow. Probably Bay Hill. Um, he won there and Pebble Beach. Like apart from that, he's not really asked to play anything else, is he really? FedEx Cup, can't be asked. Fucking playoffs around there. He'd be a lifelong member of the PGA Tour, on the DP World Tour. Um, and Live Golf members can play DP World events. I just think he seems to be growing more and more resentful of America itself and the PGA Tour rather than golf. And I think just to really fuck him off, I fuck it, take the live money. What are you gonna do now? Hey, booming more. There's a cat.
It would be, yeah, because obviously there's so much has died down on Live. Like, there's no real rumors that they're going to steal another big superstar, and if anything, it seems like they're going to capitulate back to the PGA. But yeah, if Rory was to now,
I follow them on
now,
LinkedIn. They've been hiring from a commercial perspective and a business perspective. They've been hiring a lot of like senior people who have strong roles commercially in like the NBA and the NFL and the Premier League. So that tells me they aren't going away,
yeah, I
but
don't see it.
they now need to kind of remodel how they commercialize themselves from a revenue perspective.
Well,
And
those
I
guys
think
are pretty fucking easy job because it can't get worse. Like,
exactly. But if you have Rory McIlroy there and you go
yeah,
to places anywhere in Europe and you'd say in the Middle East, Dubai, India, Rory is probably the most recognizable golf player on the planet. And then you add in everyone else. Like Cameron Smith is obviously used there to plug in Australia and Louis in South Africa and Mackie Neiman goes to South America. He just the more I think about it, Rory seems so fed up.
Did did Lowry ever get an offer? Was there ever a rumor about
I don't
Lowry
think
going?
so. Never heard him. But Lowry was always so pro. When they lost at Whistling Straits in 2021, he said just playing on the Ryder Cup team is a dream for me. Like that's what my goal was to play on the Ryder Cup.
but they're obviously bringing that back now because you're going to have Rahm and Hatton and
They said
Bryson all in there.
this. They said 2 years ago, Rory. This is like Rory talking, right, rather than Luke Donald. We will find a way to make sure John Rahm's on the team. Uh, and I think from Donald's perspective, he'd have to try and make that happen. What do you reckon, Marv? Wildcard?
For Rory to go to live?
No, he's left it with you to fill the gap.
I would say it's an interesting angle. Can I see it happening? I generally don't think he'll retire. I think he'll just reduce his schedule and just pick and choose and do what he wants. I don't think he'll literally hang the clubs up, but I agree that you could easily see him just deciding I can't be arsed with America anymore and I'll go back for the Masters. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's moving back to the UK. Like, you're not going to do that and then fly to the States twice every 3 days. You've got a private jet. You're not going to fly twice a month back and forth to all across the States to play golf. You're just gonna He's assuming because he's always been quite loyal to the DP that he'd rather do that. But if he does want to give the biggest fuck you to the PGA and if he does care about the money, then obviously Liv is the more attractive one.
I do wonder, like, if that's what made me wonder if Lowry had ever had an offer, because would Rory need somebody to do it with? Because if he said, like, you know what, Liv, we're going to create a new team and, I don't know, call it the Leprechauns or something. Not quite
Yeah.
do you know what I mean? Like, and you can bring, I don't know, we'll transfer a G-Mac to your team and you can have Lowry. And this is your team, Rory. A bit like they did with Rahm, didn't they? They kind of made him a team.
Yeah.
So, it's not outside the realms of possibility, but that would be. I suppose that the only thing is, would Rory, is he in a position where he wants to literally stick the biggest middle finger up to the PGA Tour, but also is he willing to then have to stand up to making that decision? Because if you do that, Rory, you're going to get like what Mickelson got for however many years. Are you strong enough to do that? In the last few weeks and months, what we've seen, Rory is suddenly just weakened in front of the media. I don't know.
You'd have to be so honest about like why, because coming out and then just sprouting all that grow the game bollocks would just be so so bad. But he just came out with just like they made us an Irish team. I've got Lowry, I've got that McKibben, I've got McDowell.
You see, is it 16 teams of 3? Is that roughly the format?
There's 54 players in there, so it's
18.
18.
Okay.
Yeah.
The
teams of 4, aren't they? I think.
Is it 4? Oh, yeah, true.
So is it 12 teams of?
Sorry, yeah.
I don't know. How does that work?
You think? They don't do shotgun start, do they? Where everyone starts at the same time.
I think they still do for rounds 2 and 3, and then rounds 1 and 2, and then round 3 is traditional.
It's like the not. So, as you say, I'm sure they could somehow squeeze her. Let's be honest. For me, Liv has got far too many absolute worthless players. I know they're going to need some of those all the time because they've got to pad it out. But no, it's an interesting theory that. It's what I've not actually thought of, but
what was the theory?
Yeah, I was just doing some googling, and he did quash those rumours in April. He was asked about them. Apparently, there was some rumours, and he said no, he's going to play on the PGA Tour for the rest of his life. But April was a long time ago.
He was never offered.
Who? Sorry,
Rory.
Well, I don't know if he was ever officially offered.
He was asking. He said he was asking me like, "You turned down the live golf thing." I was, I've never offered anything.
I mean, I did say that, didn't I? Yeah.
That was just very interesting. Like, come knocking. We'll see. Anyway, so you made a good case. After all, Matt, you want to put up Rory this week?
Yeah, still going to stick with Rory. Going to go 6 points on the win at 14s. And then my second pick is going to be Ben Griffin at 45s for 8 places. Probably one of the most informed golfers on tour at the moment. 2 wins since the Zurich, and he's gone 8th, 1st, 2nd, 10th in his last 4 starts. I think it's a decent price at 45s to get a place in one in the 8 ways. So yeah, really solid golfer that's on form at the moment.
Would you not worry about him with burnout? Because he seems to be playing a lot of golf the last few months where he previously hadn't really been playing. Sorry.
You could argue, yeah. I mean, he did have the week. He didn't play the Canadian, so he did skip that week. But he's played 4 of the last 5, and 5 of the last. No, yeah, he's played a lot of golf. But cash in whilst you're hot, right? If you're in a hot streak and he's earned like $5 million in the last 2 months, then it's only golf. just a walk in the park every day, isn't it? Just he's got to steal that Ryder Cup team as well.
Yeah, looking like he's bought an extra in Top Gun.
Marv, I'm guessing you won't be putting Rory up this week.
No. Come on. Did you take me for? Don't call that. I'm just going to keep it short and to the point. Ricky Fowler and Tom Hoge are both 80s, 6 places. They have course form round here in the last year. Ricky Fowler last 2 years, and both finished tied 7th 2 weeks ago at the Memorial Tournament. So Scotty could walk away with this week, but I'll take those 2 at big prices each way. 2.5 each way.
Points on Scheffler to win by 3 or more.
No.
I said Marv is the informed tipster as well. Was it 10 points on Scheffler 3 weeks ago? Did you put up Bryson? Bryce get the place winning the Masters?
I think it was a win-only bet.
Ryan Fox winner as well, I think 3 weeks
Yeah,
ago.
whether I had somebody else place, I might have
No,
done.
not recently.
Can't remember.
You had
What's
Fox. Sorry.
what's the spreadsheet looking like for the season for us?
So I am down 44.
It's good for you, that.
You are down 118. And Marv is up 140. But did skip the first 5 weeks, so that take 50 off for that.
Might be up to 100 if I'd have returned earlier.
Yeah. Well, because we are. There's a free somewhere we're down overall.
To be,
Marv is.
yeah. Ah, damn it. Even if I was doing a cheeky 10 or a point, you know what I mean?
On the rest.
Anyway.
Go back to the summer of 2014, Marv. Can't lose.
Even longer, 2012, was it? Oh, it was
Was that Snedeker?
long time ago. It was. Things actually won. Things that are supposed to win actually won.
Every time we do one of these and every new tournament, I remember a bad beat story from this T Gala 3 years ago. God almighty.
Yeah, speaking of, where has he gone? He's absolutely fallen off a cliff, that guy.
Yeah, he's cliffed it.
Shit bastard. We'll keep it short. Aaron Wright played very well last week. He's probably too big, around 45s and 8 places. Like I said, Hideki Matsuyama missed the cut by 1. Hideki shouldn't be 45 to 1 for a golf tournament. He's too good. Well, 2 points each way on both of them too. And who's the other guy I mentioned? I've got somebody.
Hovland.
Was it the one?
Hovland.
Victor. Yeah, Hovland. I thought Victor played really well last week. He's second shots, which is what I was kind of looking for with Victor. If his second shots are on, he's in good form. And the fact that he kind of jokes afterwards going, yeah, chipping sucks, need to work on it.
Yeah, he was third in approach, second around the green.
There you go.
Pretty neutral off the tee, but yeah, like his ball striking was
when he won the Tour Championship a couple of years ago, watching him flushing everything for like 10, 12, 15 feet. And that when Victor's on like that, that's when you cash in. So we'll have a point each way, kind of as a saver on him. I think he's 25 to 1 in 8 places, but I think Scotty's really short this week. Scotty Scheffler has had a really busy schedule. I think he's been busier than the last couple of years, and obviously he had his firstborn last year. And he took some time off after winning the Masters the first time, but it will catch up to you eventually. And especially if you think you're probably gonna have the week after off and then they come across for the Scottish Open, don't they? And then the Open Championship, which is in 4 weeks. So you just wonder with Scheffler last week, it was one of the first time you saw him really frustrated on a golf course. It'd just be interesting to see how he reacts. As Marv says, he could easily win by a few, but 3 to 1, I'm not going to take that chance. Rory, I don't think he's in the mental headspace for anything. So we'll take a punt on the rest. But we wish you well. But I think Rory's probably, as Marv says every week, he's the most talented golfer on the planet. But as Jeff Boycott would say, it's what's between the years, which is 90% of the game, and he seems to have a lot of custom between the years half the time. I was looking back and think that Players Championship, he got so lucky to win that. He got so lucky, and then same with that the Masters.
And the Masters.
4 up with 8 to play, and he's had to win it in a playoff.
Just hit on the fucking green, Rory, 2-putt. Like, that's all you got to do.
So
get to the safe side of the green, and
we're close to a blow. It's just a question of how close. But
he's winning this week, so and then he'll be happy, Rory, again.
If he does, we wish you well, and then you're in the green. However, unfortunately for us, we have somebody awake, so I'm going to depart very soon. And say bye, Ginge.
Go to sleep, you fish.
It looks like a young man, doesn't it? Doesn't sleep like one, unfortunately. So it's goodbye from me, goodbye from him, goodbye from the Siggy Bandits. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Unfriendly bass.